I remember the first time I met his mother. She did not even like me at all. The woman who would later look me in the eye and wish me dead wore a fake smile so convincingly that even I was almost fooled. Almost. "Welcome, my dear," she had said, extending her hand like a queen offering a cold blessing. Her eyes, though, told a different story. They scanned me up and down like I was a mistake her son was too blind to see. I smiled anyway. I had been raised to respect my elders, especially those who came with the man I loved. Even if they did not respect me back. My name is Amaka. And I used to believe that love could fix everything. I married Toby 6 months ago in a small but beautiful ceremony. My parents were late, so it was just me, a few close friends, and the man who had promised me the world. His family, especially his mother, took care of most of the planning. I thought that meant she liked me. But even at the wedding, there were signs. She wore white, and made sure to be in the middle of every photo. She said it was just tradition in their village, but I knew better. Still, I chose not to see the red flags. I wanted to believe I was now part of a family. That if I just stayed humble, quiet, and respectful, she would come around. I was wrong. The first 3 months of our marriage were blissful. We lived in a small apartment in the city. Toby worked in tech, and I had just gotten a job as a receptionist. We did not have much, but we had peace. We laughed. We cooked together. We prayed. I was genuinely happy. But happiness is not something my mother-in-law allows to grow without a fight. It started with phone calls. "Toby, are you eating well? You have lost weight. Is she feeding you properly?" Then came the visits. Unannounced. Always when I looked my worst, early in the morning, hair in a net, or at night when I was in my wrapper and slippers. She would look around the house like a health inspector, wrinkle her nose, and offer me fake smiles that made my skin crawl. "You are doing well, Amaka," she would say. "But I hope you are not too comfortable. Marriage is not by romance. It is by work." I would smile. I would nod. I would swallow the lump in my throat and say, "Yes, Ma." But it was not just her. My sister-in-law, Tola, would whisper things loud enough for me to hear. "Toby should have married Bucky. At least she is educated. I had a degree. But not from abroad like Bucky." They made sure I knew I was never going to be enough for their golden boy. Then came the financial strain. Toby lost a big contract. My salary could only go so far. Rent was due. We tried to manage, but after a few weeks of skipping meals and pretending we were okay, Toby said it. "Babe, I think we should move in with my parents, just for a while." My heart dropped. I wanted to say no. I wanted to scream. But I saw the shame in his eyes and the worry in his voice. So I agreed. And that was the beginning of the storm. When we moved in, she gave us the boys' room, small, hot, and tucked near the kitchen. My mother-in-law did not speak to me for the first 2 days. She spoke about me, but not to me. She would call Toby aside and say things like, "Do not let this girl ruin your future," or "You know how these girls are, they tie a man down with their problems." But I endured. I swept the compound. I cooked. I cleaned. I greeted her with smiles she never returned. Toby said I should ignore her, that it was just her nature. I tried. Until the day she told me to stop touching her pots. "I do not like people with spiritual problems touching my kitchen," she said, eyes burning into me. I did not understand. Spiritual problems? I went to our room that night and cried into my wrapper. Toby tried to console me, but I could feel him slipping away, caught between his wife and the woman who gave him life. Still, I held on. I told myself things would get better. That I just needed to survive. I did not have any work again to do. I was now jobless. It was impossible for me to move from here to the city every day for the job I had just secured not long ago. Things were really so tough that my mother-in-law even made it worse. I was already tired of life itself. Every morning I opened my eyes, I sighed. I did not know what I was waking up to anymore: trouble, insults, shouting, humiliation. I was slowly losing myself. I did not recognize the girl I saw in the mirror anymore. My eyes were always red, face dull, my body thin and tired. I had started losing weight because I was not eating well. Sometimes, I had to lie to Toby that I already ate just to avoid explaining why I had no appetite or no food at all. It was like I was just existing, not living. I had started regretting everything. Why did I marry into this family? Why did I not see the signs earlier? Why did I not run when I still had the chance? Every single day came with one form of trouble or the other. There was never peace for me in that house. My mother-in-law had made it her life mission to make sure I was miserable. She did not care who was around. She would shout at me at any time of the day like I was a child, or worse, like I was a slave she bought with her money. "Toby," she would call him from the sitting room. "Come and see your wife. Lazy girl. See how she is sweeping like somebody that was forced." I would be there, sweating, doing my best, but it was never enough for her. Nothing I did ever pleased her. And the worst part? My husband could not say anything anymore. In the beginning, he tried. He would defend me, beg her, even raise his voice sometimes. But after a while, he stopped. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he was afraid. Or maybe he just did not want to fight his mother anymore. After all, she was the one who gave birth to him. What could I say? Her daughter, Tola, hated me too. In fact, she hated me more than her mother did. I did not know why. I had never offended her. From the very first day I entered that house, she looked at me like I was a disease that came to infect their home. She was always spoiling my name to the neighbors, talking loudly on the phone about me so I could hear. This girl no reach my brother level at all. Na jas she take hold am, I swear. It was only their father, Baba Toby, that had a soft spot for me. He was a calm man. Gentle. Quiet. The kind of man who would notice you were sad and ask if you had eaten. But he was barely around. He traveled often, always on some business trip or the other. And even when he was around, he avoided family drama like a plague. He would just sit in the parlor, read his newspaper, and keep his thoughts to himself. I became a house help in their home, just because of what? I did not have anyone. Every chore became mine. Sweeping, washing, cooking, cleaning, and even when I was sick. Even when I was on my period. Even when I had not eaten all day. And my husband? He just kept saying, "Please just endure. It is for a while. I will find a way out." Endure? That word started sounding like a curse to me. I was tired of enduring. Tired of pretending. Tired of carrying the burden of peace alone. But what could I do? I did not have anywhere else to go. My parents were late. I had no siblings. I did not have money or connections. All I had was my faith in God. So I endured. But something happened that evening, and I still feel the anger rising in my chest anytime I remember it. I was in the kitchen, washing plates. We had just finished dinner. Nobody waited for me to eat. As usual, I served everyone and quietly excused myself. I did not want another round of insults. I stood at the sink, scrubbing a pot that had soaked overnight when Tola walked in. She was holding a dirty plate with leftover beans and stew. I did not say anything. I just kept washing. Without a word, she threw the plate at the sink, and it hit the edge so hard that food splashed everywhere. On the counter. On the wall. On my dress. I froze. She did not even flinch. She turned and started walking out. Then, as if to provoke me more, she turned back and hissed loudly. "Clean that nonsense, house girl." My hands were shaking. I felt like beating her. I am not even going to lie. In my mind, I imagined dragging her by her braids and slapping the arrogance out of her. I imagined the look on her face when I pour the dirty water on her designer clothes. I imagined everything. But I did not do it. I just stood there, staring at the mess. Hot tears rolled down my cheeks, not because I was weak but because I was angry, helpless, and tired. I cleaned the mess. I finished the dishes. I went to the small room I shared with Toby and locked the door. He was not home yet. I sat on the floor and cried until my head hurt. I did not want this life. I did not want this marriage anymore. I wanted peace. I wanted to be loved. I wanted a home, not a prison. Later that night, when Toby came back, I did not say anything. What was the point? He would just say I should endure. I lay beside him in silence, staring at the ceiling, and thinking of the life I used to have before marriage. I was lonely back then, but I was free. I did not know that freedom was a blessing until I lost it. That night, I prayed a simple prayer. God, if you see me, if you hear me, please, fight for me. I am tired. I did not know it yet, but a battle had already started.